I'm talking to Dennis in my chat about I want a beer cheese pretzel for dinner. Dennis, Alexis is upset that you're not coming with us. So.
Dinner?
Just to be clear, I personally don't give a fuck. Because I hate you.
Dinner?
Yeah, because we're drinking.
Yeah, I'm not going to dinner.
Right. She's upset that you're not coming. She wants to spend time with you for some reason.
Listen.
Yeah, we're not going to see you for a week. That is actually true.
True. It's because Alexis needs someone to rip shots with. Is normally, you know.
She was going to drink tonight.
I volunteer as tribute. It's just how it happens.
Oh, no. Oh, the kitty's here. Queen. Okay, see ya.
Oh, someone else try host. I don't know. I think my shit's bugged.
All right, I'll take it.
For sure.
What about Tim and beer cheese? Thanks, John.
Like you get ping, but it doesn't move.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe you're shadow banned.
Maybe.
I invited.
Dropped about 7:30s today, so maybe.
I invited Clock. I need to get tea. Yeah. This is my last game. Yeah, it's my LG, like, no matter what, bro.
Yo, guys, what is up? It's Teach here, coming at you again with...
If we win and it's lit...
Hone, so make sure...
Nitro the cat, nice to see you.
Is there really 4 people in here? 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 people. Is there really 3 people even in this chat? I don't believe so. If you guys are actually here, type something in the chat. It says stream chat users. Huh.
The rest of this is
no one playing Warzone? Is it a dead game?
A worse item to show you how to fix it here. But what you can do, you can see right here, there's a quality 47. If I click over here, there's a quality 38. And if I click again, I've got a quality 22. So in order to hone something, you're going to need access to stone fragments for your weaponry in some cases, and fragments as well. This is all your equipped stuff usually at the top. And then the bottom stuff is going to be usually your unequipped stuff. Now, I'm going to go ahead and hone something that's not very good so I can show you how to fix your issues. So let's say you have, all right, for example, I'm honing a level 39 thing even though my equipped thing is a 75. If I upgrade this, I click on the equip button, I go all the way to the top, or you can hit the max button and it'll give you maximum gear XP in order to hone it. You click upgrade, it'll cost you a little bit of silver.
What's happening?
The next phase is pretty simple. You're going to click gear honing, and then you can see right here, if you are higher level stuff, you can use stars breath to increase your stuff, basically to make it better, and then we're going to go ahead and gear hone.
You already know I'm not backing.
Once you do that,
way, right? We're just
notice how I got a level 1 thing, all of my defense
Why aren't you coming to dinner? You doing something?
Vitality included. This will make your character better. This is how you get those huge stat jumps.
Why aren't you coming to
this
dinner?
is why, even though it's a worse quality, it's a better overall. Honing is huge. Now, let's say you made a mistake like I just purposely did, where you have a lower quality thing, and you end up getting a higher quality thing that you want to replace it with. How do you fix that? Pretty simple, actually. You're going to go to gear transfer button. Now, with the gear transfer button, you're going to go ahead and click over here what you want to get. So right now you can see I've got, let's see here, where is it? There it is. So see, I've got a 75 quality
control and pace myself. If he's a cheater, I'm going to spectate.
That right there is what I want to give my traits that I accidentally just messed up on. It's going to automatically give you what you have as a +1 over here. So the thing you just honed, you right click there, and it's basically going to transfer all of that +1s or plus whatever's from this right hand side
really good
to the left hand side over here. Now, what you're going to do is pretty simple. You're just going to click on gear transfer, and then you'll see when it's complete, you'll get that +1, and you're going to have now +1 overall crossing paths gloves. Boom. Pretty simple. And then now I've got these, which are much, much better overall, and you can equip those for your character. Now, with your character, you can see that I've got him right here with that equipped already, and that is how you do it. So if you've messed up or honed your gear before, that is how it's done. Now, in order to get stuff for your gear, you're going to want to run the raids and things along those lines. You can hit up some islands as well, and that'll help you get a bunch of the resources that you need in order to hone your gear, in order to make your character higher level tiers. So, anyways, hopefully this quick little video helped.
Who else? I'll go if Tyler doesn't go.
He's not going.
All right, I'll come.
You're fucking trolling. I actually need to know if you're trolling because I gotta text the manager if we're changing our number.
What are you going?
Literally, probably right after this game, I'm gonna like change and head out because I'm hungry.
Ooh, probably not.
All right. We'll be seeing
Appreciate the invite. Appreciate the invite.
Don't talk to me. I got hit 3 times flush. 4 times flush. What? All right, good luck, boys. See you in Valhalla.
There's so many fucking people stretching, by the way. And
well, it was probably because it was a 47-minute queue, unfortunately.
Oh my fucking god, there's so many people.
No, dude, maybe we can stretch far, like far side?
Oh, there's a guy like trying to pistol me out of the air. It's a CDL skin. He's been chasing me around the whole fucking time.
Maybe hop right in, Denny. Maybe hop right in.
No, I'm looking
behind you.
Yeah. I got a sniper and a pistol, man. I don't know what to do. I think someone's in. Someone is in.
Huh?
I'm dead. Alright, fucking hot. Thank God you got a pistol. Rat. Ever bitch.
People at tents? People at top?
There's a lot of people under. Stop giving me type 99 sniper.
That kid's a bullet in my life. I'm dropping under and getting some more loot here.
Yes, ma'am.
The tent something?
Hey, looking. One's under bridge as well.
Near me?
Yeah. Unless I heard you.
Maybe? No.
No. Coming.
He just literally threw a gas grenade on me. I just couldn't do anything.
God damn it.
Landing top, on chop. On this head. Whoa.
I fucked up my ground. This is lit. Hey, I'm down below. Can't come up.
That kid, hey, bro, this kid right here is twisted. So, good luck. What gun did he kill me with?
I mean, you're still alive.
I mean, I almost died. Like,
Oh.
That guy's still sitting out there.
Yeah, I thought he went lower. I got bad timing.
Watch that, Tim.
I mean, I'm just gonna chill high right now. Still, doesn't Lodi?
Yeah, this lobby is.
God damn it! I can't freaking get out of
It's like
this.
everyone was in queue or something and waiting. In front of me, Dennis, I'm a bullet, bro.
He's chasing you. He's one. Perfectly cooked nade. 3, 2, 1. Boom, blew him.
Did he fall on me or no? Oh, you got him. I'm stupid. This lobby's got shots, bro. Feels like a private lobby, low key. But the 50 health is saving me a lot. Can we go? Can we buy a loadout? Oh my god, that is a god tier loadout position. Holy frick! I can get my shit and don't have to hop. I'm in.
I like the loadout. It comes so early in this mode.
It's a great change. I wish, dude, they have good ideas in both. I wish they would just kind of combine them.
Yeah.
Give me your money.
And then after they like
money
everything, just put it to Verdon.
It's that kid stuff.
That guy's name sniping. His name's Tech. He's cringe.
You gonna challenge my brand, dude? You're such a fucking bot. Literally, uninstall the game.
It's a full team.
It's taking your money back, but it's a free one. So
it's a full team. You see him?
Yeah, down the hill more.
Hello? Wait, can you guys hear me?
He left the game.
Yeah.
But you can hear me?
They just left the game.
Yeah.
I'm frozen. Loadout on my body? That's a new one. What the fuck was that? Hey, kids with their loadies top. What the fuck just happened?
Have any plates clock?
That's a new glitch. That's fun.
Oh, they just left the game, so. Oh, here.
A whole team top peak with like DPs and shit, bro. Fucking tilted off that. I bought the loadout and I couldn't do anything.
Return to the front line, but if you lose, you're done. It's time, soldier. Break 'em.
Damn.
Get back out there.
Hey, did you get the kids that were up top?
No.
I'm fucking shocked, bro. Our loadout's on my body too.
I need help.
Look at you.
They're like by tents and then up top.
Yeah, these kids, Facebook, like fucking sweat loadout. You already know the vibes.
One pushing your left.
Hay dos ahí, diablo.
Lasered one. Is one still in 10?
I don't know.
Top right there.
Taco fried.
Dude, he was so low.
I got my loadie. Perfect. I need plates, bro.
Top, though.
Loadout's serious?
Yeah, shots.
Top still?
Yeah.
I think he might have went down.
He's inside.
Right.
Tim, you need some plates? I can drop you a couple.
I have two now. I'm okay.
Bitch.
I think he's riding inside.
I dropped you 2 more.
Unless he jumped and I didn't hear it, but.
Hey, watching your spawn just got shit. Oh my god, never mind. He just got fucking curb stomped.
Dude,
Yeah,
I
see, that's the
bought.
thing. You just do that when you have 50 more health.
I bought the loadout. I hit the loadout button. Right. It looked like I threw it. Okay.
Huh?
And then it didn't throw, and I couldn't throw it, and I couldn't like. I can move and shoot, but I couldn't like throw the loadout, and I couldn't like. I was like, it was like I was lagging. It was weird, bro. I've never seen that loadout bug.
Anyone have armor?
I got nothing.
I have 5.
There's one piece right here.
There's a guy here, right, team? Or he went away?
He's like down by the water.
Oh, yeah, it's him.
Maybe not him. I don't. Maybe another one.
Shit, got highlight. This guy.
Yeah.
Snipe to your left, T, or something.
Yeah.
It's like low on you. I'm watching you. Try to come out to me if you can. Yeah, make him push.
Yeah.
Should have him.
Give me life.
Damn.
It's all good.
We can probably buy you. Yeah, here. Dropping on us.
That was him.
On him. Right on clock.
You're playing with him.
How did that guy?
Someone
not
was sniping
splat?
down here, bro.
Drop money, Tim.
Here you go.
How did that guy not splat? That was the best parachute ever.
Gas is closing in. Relocating the safe zone.
I'll kind of go with you to buy, but I think someone's down here, Mert. Did he just aim at me? Chad, I threw the loadout, right? Like the animation.
Yeah. Oh.
I'm dead from behind.
And on you as well.
How was I not hitting this guy? I'm fucking dead.
There's a random solo player that just thirsted
I'm
you.
off. I'm fucking.
Coming.
It's not meant to be.
This guy's crazy.
I think this guy might be cheating.
I killed him once.
No, he's not. Never mind. No. It's just the same guys. It's the same guys from earlier.
Were they?
In the trees, bro. Good luck.
I'm a little close above the buy.
Behind Dennis, too.
Just eating a cluster strike.
Yeah, other one's like in front of Dennis.
There's two up there. Should be two.
Give me to the right of the cluster.
It's two teams.
Gotta be.
Good old boys. It's the boys. Back.
Gonna step close, right?
Right.
Who's this fucking guy, huh?
That's the same dude we fought earlier.
And he's getting shot by someone else, so that explains why that was so stupid. I'm gonna blame the loadout glitch. That's why I died at the beginning. Fucking shocked me.
How do I?
Probably anyways. There's 40 left.
You guys want out, Tim?
No,
Okay, let's take 'em.
I'm fucking off. So, you want me to keep playing Win this Gulag? All right. Okay, guys. It's enough for me.
Yeah.
Y'all
It's
take it
about 10 for
easy.
me, so.
This guy is full blinded.
Have a good day. I will be here tomorrow for one more before the vacation. So.
I'm gonna look at some fucking cars. I'm not.
Welcome to Electrified. It's your host, Dylan Loomis. Quick shout out to my newest patron, Benobi1. Thank you for choosing to support the channel. I loved this question from FSDologist on Twitter. Spend $12,000 on FSD now or invest at Tesla at a discount. Which will be more valuable in 5 years? This is the question of the day for all of you. I will put my answer in the comments below. Here we have some comedy for the day. And look, I understand conspiracy theories can be fun and interesting, but this one just seems to be a little ridiculous. Apparently on social media, primarily Facebook and some places on Twitter, a lot of people are talking about how these higher gas prices are just a way for the government to force people into electric vehicles. And some of these posts have suggested that the government wants to push people to use EVs so they can shut down a driver's car at will. And here's the reason I'm sharing this. From an analysis by Signal Labs for the AP, mentions of electric cars have increased by 400% over the last 4 days across public social media accounts. This obviously a great thing for Tesla, and it may be showing up in orders as we have another rumor on that topic. This is being reported by Steven at Inside EVs saying, according to sources familiar with Tesla's orders, the US automaker is already experiencing a massive sales surge. The anonymous sources claim that the automaker is seeing a 100% increase in new orders in areas of the US most impacted by the rising gas prices. And before we move on to check this claim, I just want to be clear, I obviously don't think it's a conspiracy theory about the government trying to push up gas prices. Just look at the price of oil, look at what we're doing with Russian imports and obviously the Ukraine situation, and it's very clear that, in my opinion, there are explanations for what's going on with gas prices, not related to the government just doing it to get people in EVs. Hopefully, that all goes without saying. So what's the best way to check these claims about this new surge in Tesla demand? Well, delivery dates. Right now, for the Model Y long range, we're looking at September. If we compare that with the Wayback Machine from a few days ago, it was August. So we do now have a 1 month pushback. However, there were some other changes made as well. As you can see, the price of the Model Y was $58,990 for the long range and $63,990 for performance. And coming back to today, each have increased by $1,000. And there's a very interesting phenomenon taking place here. If you go back to the beginning of January 2021, remember the price for a long-range Model Y was actually $49,990. So today we're looking at a $10,000 increase. Doing the math, that's a 20% increase in just about 1 year for the Model Y. And for the performance variant, it's increased $5,000 since that time, or about 9%. Now, doing that same analysis for the Model 3, looking at the performance variant first, estimated delivery of May. If we go back just a few days, it was indeed April, so we've seen increased wait times for the Model 3 performance. However, long range and standard range or rear wheel drive have stayed the same. And looking at the price increases, this is a few days ago, we were looking at 44 and change, 50 and 58, and fast forward to today, the only variant that has seen the $1,000 increase is the long range version. And per the usual, many people are speculating that, well, nickel prices are surging, so Tesla's obviously raising their prices because of what's going on with nickel. And initially it might make sense because you look at certain variants that use nickel in the batteries and the prices are increasing in all cases except the Model 3 Performance. That price has stayed the same. That does use the nickel-based batteries. However, I understand why people would assume that because the rear-wheel drive variant, which uses the LFP battery, did not get a price bump. However, I'm not sure it's true all the way across the board, and to be clear, prices have been raised in Europe and China as well. Just a reminder, there are myriad reasons why Tesla would do a price increase. Oftentimes, it won't be just because of one supply chain resource. It could be supply and demand factors. It could be all of the supply chain logistics for the parts of the vehicle, not just one part of the battery. And what's that interesting phenomenon I was talking about? Well, to round it out with the Model 3, going back to January of 2021, standard range at that time cost 37 and change, long range 46, performance 54. Fast forward to today, you can see that all variants have increased in cost by between $5,000 and $7,000, and doing the calculation for the rear wheel drive, that's an 18% increase over the past 13 months. So what's happening is many Tesla owners who bought their vehicle last year are now seeing higher prices on the used market for what they actually paid for their vehicles due to the used vehicle demand and these new price raises for new vehicles. So Elon's actually ahead of his promise on this one that Teslas are indeed appreciating assets, at least for now. Last thing before we move on, Tesla has done something brilliant that should boost margins in the coming quarters. Right now, if you look at the Model Y long range estimated delivery of September. However, if you scroll down and add the FSD option and you click add for the FSD option, you can see estimated delivery changes from September to May, an entire 4 months sooner for those opting for the FSD package. So a new incentive to get people to pay the $12,000 for FSD upfront to get your car a few months sooner. And if you change the wheels to the base Aero wheels, which are not the default, and then you go from May all the way to December, a full 7 months sooner. Moving on, the CPI data came out this morning, basically a huge nothing burger coming in right in line with expectations. 0.8% in February month over month, and the headline 7.9% year over year, compared to the economists surveyed who are expecting 7.8% headline and 0.7% for the month. So you're going to see all kinds of headlines for the highest inflation in 40 years. However, remember, this is an expectation game, and when it comes in line with expectations, there's not going to be as significant of a move in the market. The one thing that I'll personally be watching in March is going to be the energy. As you can see, for February over January, we have significantly elevated levels of inflation, especially compared to the moves in January. To be expected, however, a bigger portion of the move in oil prices won't be absorbed or seen in prices until March, so we'll have to watch those numbers closely. And just a quick note, the 10-year Treasury yield has gone over 2%. This is watched very closely by the market at scale. If you're not familiar, bond yields and bond prices move inversely. So if the yield is going up, that means the bond price is going down. Ordinarily, that's driven by demand, so if the demand is going down, that means less people are wanting these bonds, which are usually a safe haven, so ordinarily that would mean investors are looking for more risk on assets. Typically, using that rule of thumb, in times like this, you would expect the stock market to be green. However, it's not, so just a reminder, there is never ever just one thing that's moving the market. There are plenty of things going into this. It is never as simple as analysts or especially YouTubers try to make it sound. Holmars asks for an FSD beta update for the next version, Elon says, this weekend. Just to make it official, the House did pass legislation banning Russian oil and gas imports by an overwhelming vote of 414 to 17. If you're wondering who voted no, here are a list of the names. this will now go to the Senate for approval. We got a new note from Piper Sandler, and I just want to highlight one thing. He said, "These figures are always topical, talking about delivery figures out of Shanghai, but we've also noticed a general uptick in inbound calls regarding Tesla's exposure to geopolitical risks and or commodity price spikes. Nickel prices are garnering particular attention, no surprise, given their importance in battery manufacturing, but in our view, deteriorating US-China relations are potentially more consequential in the long term. Tesla's China exposure is a major positive for Tesla and China, but we must admit, if American companies are eventually used as pawns in a wider geopolitical conflict, then Tesla shareholders would likely suffer." So obviously this isn't news. I just think every now and then it's good for us to bring up and discuss some of the risks that, yes, even Tesla is going to face. And for me, on the concern spectrum, I am definitely on the less concerned side, as I think Tesla is essential to what China is trying to accomplish with the push to EVs and sustainable energy. China understands how valuable Tesla is and all of their technology and innovation, how important now Giga Shanghai is to their own local economy. So I think things would have to get really, really bad for Tesla to be negatively impacted in a way that would have a material implication on Giga Shanghai's output. The other bigger news item of the day has to do with the CEO of Lucid, Peter Rawlinson, selling some stock. Many people are panicking, wondering if they should sell their Lucid shares. Is Lucid going bankrupt? Does Peter not believe in the company anymore? Well, let's walk through this and go through, and in a few seconds you'll understand what's really going on. So this should make it a lot easier to see given the Form 4s are so small. Before this transaction, Peter owned 30,159,000 shares of Lucid stock. He then sold 7,981,000 shares, combining these two transactions. That means, doing the math, he sold 26% of his stake in Lucid. If you do the math at the share price, which was about $22, that's $180.6 million worth of Lucid stock that Peter has sold. You'll understand the air quotes here momentarily. Now, if you go back to the document and actually scroll down and read the document, you will see some text in green. Represent shares that have been withheld by the issuer to satisfy income tax withholding and remittance obligations in connection with the vesting of restricted stock units reported on Form 4 filed on July 27, 2021. Line 2 is exactly the same, except for restricted stock units, it says performance stock units. So Dylan, what are restricted stock units and performance stock units? Well, it's actually rather simple. It's just a form of compensation in the form of shares, typically for insiders or executives of a company. Restricted stock units are just that, restricted for a period of time, typically until those shares vest after X amount of time. Performance stock units, on the other hand, they're going to be restricted for a period of time, or if you meet a certain performance criteria, then those shares could vest a little bit sooner, hence the performance base. And this right here is very important to know. With restricted stock units, you pay income taxes when shares are delivered, usually at vesting. Some plans actually let you pay withholding taxes by surrendering an equivalent value of shares, which could very well be what's going on here with Peter Rawlinson. This share surrender, if you will, lets you avoid paying taxes in cash, essentially to use company shares instead of cash to meet these obligations. And going back to the Form 4 from today, what did it say? Represent shares that have been withheld by the issuer being Lucid. And here's the Form 4 that was referenced from July 24th, 2021 for Peter Rawlinson. We have the common stock up here being acquired, and then we have some stock options, the right to buy, with exercise prices of 18 cents, 37 cents, and 83 cents. And here we have footnotes 1 and 2. Remember, 1 is for the smaller lot of shares. 1 says, received in exchange for 203,000 shares of common stock of Ativa, basically shares Rawlinson got from the original merger. But 2 is more important, and what does 2 say? Represents restricted stock units received in exchange for 11.2 million RSUs of Lucid, once again in connection with the merger. And here you have it, 13.8 million of the RSUs are subject to a time vesting requirement and will vest in 16 equal quarterly installments beginning December 2021. And another 16 million of the RSUs are subject to a performance vesting requirement and will vest in 5 tranches based on the achievement of market capitalization goals. So to me, this is very simply just a tax liability situation, absolutely nothing for Lucid shareholders to worry or panic about. And yes, Warren did a video on this topic. However, Warren, if you happen to see this, nothing personal, but you didn't mention anything about the footnotes or the tax liability situation. And look, Lord knows we all make mistakes, myself included. However, if that was indeed an honest mistake, it may be worth correcting. And last up for today, Autoblog put together a list of the most efficient EVs for 2022 based on the miles per gallon equivalent. Looking at the top 10, no surprises, but Tesla has taken 2 of the top 3 slots with the Model 3 and Model Y. In between, you find the Lucid Air at 131 miles per gallon equivalent. And scrolling down to see the bottom part of the list, although all of these vehicles are still technically efficient relative to the competition, I just want to say one thing. I think too many people are being laser focused on efficiency for EVs. I understand it's a very important conversation topic, but when you think about gas cars in the long term, how many people are super laser focused on getting the very best miles per gallon? It's way more about the features and the comfort and the price and all of those other things. So yes, these metrics are important and something to consider. However, it shouldn't be the make or break for whether somebody decides to buy a vehicle or not, unless you have very specific range needs. That'll do it for today. Please like the video if you did. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and a huge thank you to all of my Patreon supporters.
They do have sets. Do I not have any sets right now?
Did you know the WEF were talking about digital IDs way back in 2016? 4 years before the pandemic. Weird. Hello there, you 5.1 million awakening wonders. Thank you for joining me on this journey of mutual awakening. You tell us stuff, we tell you stuff. Through this discourse, we grow together. There will be moments of angst and fear. That's a necessary part of the journey. But if we go within, if we stay alert, if we communicate clearly, from this mayhem, we can create something beautiful. Not necessarily perfect, but better than what we have now for sure. I'm touring all over the UK. Do you want to participate in this live experience? This ain't just comedy. This is breathwork, meditation, mayhem, embracing beauty. I want you to be a part of it, particularly if you're in Carlisle or Plymouth or Blackpool or Glasgow. There's a link in the description to get your tickets. Now, I've got to tell you about a beautiful conversation I had with Nick Corbishley, who's written a book about Davos, the WEF, Klaus Schwab, all of that stuff. He's unpacked it at depth. This conversation took place on my podcast, Under the Skin, available from Luminary. You can subscribe to it if you want to and if you can afford to. This bit we're giving you for free, our beloved viewers, where he talks about digital IDs and how Microsoft and WEF were talking about proposals to have us all digital ID'd up way back in 2016 and making it more or less mandatory by 2030. I had a crazy conversation with this guy, Nick Corbishley. Myself, I felt like, you know, one of them thriller movies where it's like Liam Neeson or Bruce Willis or Sam Jackson, and like they meet a witness or a whistleblower that goes, man, I gotta tell you, I found out all the secrets. You gotta know what they're planning. This stuff's big. Nick Corbishley had that vibe. He's got the kind of frenetic energy of a person that's seen too much. His book is fantastic. There'll be a link in the description to that book as well. But in this conversation, we're talking about digital IDs and the WEF. Across the course of that conversation, we talk in depth about their actual influence and the way that they prime and prepare political candidates. People like Merkel, Blair, Putin, Macron, like your man Trudeau. All these people have been through WF, a sort of politician youth training schemes. I'm sure there's nothing conspiratorial in it, but it's worth informing yourself, right? Stay to the end of this video because you're going to love it, and I want you to hit me up in the comments below in case you think I've missed vital questions.
Yeah, I think that we are very much in danger of kind of sleepwalking into a tech-enabled tyranny. I think that is clearly a possibility, and there are clear interests in pushing this
into making this a reality. In research for my book, I was able to document in interest, or should I say, concerted efforts to get digital identity to just about, to everybody on the planet within the next 8 years. So, I mean, by the year 2030. So there's an organization called ID 2020 that very few people know about. I'd never heard of it before I started researching for this book. The ID 2020 Alliance. It was set up in 2016 with seed money from Microsoft, Accenture, PwC, Rockefeller Foundation, Cisco, and Gavi, the Vaccine Alliance. So, I mean, it's a very powerful organization, and its founding mission...
In 2016 it was set up?
In 2016. And
when there wasn't a pandemic.
When there wasn't a pandemic. And yeah, we're looking at organizations that you would expect to see pushing this sort of agenda. And their founding mission was to ensure that everybody on planet Earth had a digital ID by 2030. Whether or not we want it, we will have it. I mean, this is kind of like the idea, and it's if you're worried about kind of like technocratic, concentrated, consolidated control of population, this is kind of a perfect example of that. And in 2019, they published an article where they were talking about how inoculation presented a wonderful opportunity to roll out digital identity. And this was months and months before COVID-19 pandemic began. And they were, I mean, the way they wrote this article was really interesting. They were not talking about how digital identity will help governments manage public healthcare issues and crises. They were talking about how public healthcare issues and crises will allow them to roll out digital identity. And this is exactly what you've seen. If you look at what World Economic Forum, they were talking about digital identity back in 2018. It was the main topic. It was the top topic of the Davos event that year. And they produced an enormous report about how wonderful digital identity would be for the world. So I mean, it's not something that is new. It's something that has been kind of in incubation for quite some time. And my personal feeling, considering you've got an organization like ID 2020 with these sort of backers talking about the wonderful opportunities that inoculation vaccine certificates offer in terms of as a gateway to digital identity, then yeah, and that is, in my view, exactly what we're seeing.
When they published that article in 2016, or at least they were founded, you say ID 2020, you said their backers include groups such as Microsoft, that there was an article published where they sort of explained how like visual identity would be, their aims about visual identity. Who's that published for? Is that an academic paper? Is it a business paper? Why would you put, obviously when I hear something like that, I feel like, oh man, that's shady. But I feel like, well, then why is there sort of a paper trail like that could lead to conclusions?
I think that there's a paper trail with just about everything that is kind of happening right now. It's the same with the World Economic Forum. You have organizations that are proudly talking about how they can and will exercise greater influence in the future. I mean, the World Economic Forum's founder, who you've covered on a number of occasions, Klaus Schwab, I mean, he talks openly about how we have to use this pandemic as an opportunity to radically restructure the world and to create this kind of totally digitally connected reality. And that is kind of what we're seeing. That is the name of the game. So I think that in answer to your question, who is it aimed at? I would say it's aimed at the sort of kind of like stakeholders that they would be writing for, the sort of people who might be connected with companies like Microsoft, companies like Accenture, companies like PwC, the Rockefeller Foundation. And the same with, I mean, like when the World Economic Forum published its report in 2018, Identity in a Digital World, a new chapter in the social contract, it was very clearly a policy piece. They were kind of bragging about the fact that, they covered this in their Davos event that year, and they told everybody to go out and to work on these digital identities, and they were very happy to see that this was what was happening. So, I mean, I think that we live in this world where power has already drifted upwards, or has been taken from us and has been pulled upwards. And to such an extent, I think that's part of the reason why so many of us are so apathetic, because we really have so little influence over how government functions. So we kind of like just switch off. And we've seen like an organization like the World Economic Forum.
Quick tip on quest called Finding the Arcs. Finding the Arcs is directly connected to World Quest. Those will find that the game is going to take you to Africa. Just follow the quest line and everything will be fine. You'll find all the arcs that way.
Shut the fuck up.
To raise your combat level 50, you will get to level 50 just following the story of this game. Typically, the level reported to in other games is you need to invest 40 hours for free to achieve, and where
oh my god, give me... Why can't I make it over here? Why can't I go to the left side of the map?
The dust has barely even settled after the release of the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro, but we know a fair amount about the brand new devices, the Pixel 7 and the Pixel 7 Pro already. So here's the upcoming device duo fully explained. Thanks for watching 9 to 5 Google here on YouTube. Remember to thumbs up, hit subscribe and then tap the bell icon to be among the first to watch our upcoming videos. There's no denying we're still more than a few months away from the release of the Pixel 7 and the 7 Pro, with the Pixel 6a actually expected way before this duo and those obviously that late 2022 release. Just a quick recap though on the Pixel 6a, because it does pertain to this 2022 lineup. That's going to adopt a larger form factor this year with a similar chassis to that of the Pixel 6. It'll use the Tensor chip, likely have an in-display fingerprint scanner. It'll have the same wide and ultra-wide setup as seen on the Pixel 5, Pixel 4a 5G and the Pixel 5a. So that means 12.2 megapixel IMX363, 12 megapixel IMX386 ultra-wide, and a centrally placed display notch rather than the upper right style that has been used previously.
Night, Stinky.
There's a sign, so that's a physical location?
Yeah, so we have our own warehouse.
Where
you hover over a different video to see.
And how does it work? Like people could just go there and get food?
No. So basically, so this is where I'll have to. We're in North Carolina. There's actually not a lot of big cities, a lot of little cities. So we actually have, like, in our city, we have the 14th largest hospital in America, even though we're like a tiny city, because there's a bunch of small communities around. It makes sense to have people come from these little communities to a big hospital instead of building a bunch of little ones. And so we kind of did the same model with our food pantry, where instead of supporting a big city, which most big cities already have food pantries there, there's all these little communities that weren't big enough where people would actually give a fuck or help them, because it just doesn't make sense, a couple thousand people or whatever. So we built a big food pantry in a central location, and we're more of a logistics company. We'll take pick a certain community like Grimesland. Every Saturday we'll load up food, we'll go there, and then the people in need will do a food drive and basically give them 3 different boxes of food: a box of dairy products, pantry, and vegetables, and then we come back 2 weeks later and give them food. So basically they can just live off the food we supply them, and we do that to a bunch of little communities. And we just crossed 1 year of operation, and we were able to give away over 1 million meals in our first year.
That's fantastic.
Oh yeah, so in those boxes, this one was a special episode. Someone gave us 50,000 cookies. Go back, though, so where the boxes were. Back one more. Yeah, right there. So that's what we give to everyone that comes to the food drive, completely for free. We've never charged the fucking person a dime for food. That's enough to survive 2 weeks. And it's good, nutritious food. We actually invested in, we got a really nice fridge, too, so we can, which most food pantries don't have, so we can store a lot of cold goods like vegetables and dairy products, which is why. Also, some of these places, the food pantries went under, and so we come in and we take over for the old food pantries, and people love when we do, because you go from, a box of, I don't want a dumpster on them, but, average stuff to, now you're getting, fucking milk and dairy and yogurt and also, all these vegetables. They're like, what the fuck? This is free? It's, over $100 worth of food. And so, yeah, it's been great.
That's awesome. So how does this work? If someone wants to go to the food pantry to get food,
you don't go to the food pantry. We do distributions where we go to places in low income places and do distributions. And so you would just come to the distribution and you just sit in your car, pop your trunk, we put food in, you drive off.
So you just set up a shop, a stand on the side of the like this year?
No. So they're scheduled. The communities are notified beforehand.
Was that line a bunch of people waiting for food?
Yeah, this was a special one we did for Thanksgiving where we gave away 10,000 turkeys for free.
That is so awesome, dude.
Yeah. Well, this isn't our normal thing, but Yeah, it's you basically you go there. It'll be in the church parking lot. Or
How do you
school
tell
parking
these?
lot.
How do these people find out about?
Well, that's the thing. Your first food drive, it's not as many people, but word spreads as you do them, and you consistently show up at the same time every second week, and people just come, and eventually
Look
hundreds
at
of
the
families
line
come.
there. That's nuts.
Yeah. This one, because it's a bigger thing, we actually bought ads and spread it out and stuff
Right, you
like
got
that.
people in turkey outfits.
Yeah.
That's a turkey holocaust right there. Look at all those dead turkeys.
I know. Hey, I mean, people ate.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's very cool that you did this. It's very cool, and you see these people where you even made a turkey.
Yeah.
These people that are waiting in line for these turkeys. It's
But this
crazy.
isn't our normal thing. So it's like I said, it's the distributions we do with the other food. So it's essentially like I want to grow this channel really big, get it where it's pulling millions of dollars a month in revenue, and do tons of brand deals and stuff like that, and then just basically use that money to buy food and feed as many people as we can.
That's so cool. I love it, man. I just love that you do that. And that turkey thing, when you're out there, like how long does that take to get turkeys to that many people?
I mean, that was like a 4 or 5 hour food drive. I mean, we're pretty efficient with the lines and getting through it.
Did you run out of turkeys?
No, actually, we had 10,000. I don't remember the number, but we had a few thousand left over that we then went to other food pantries and we gave to them to give to their communities.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
And do you have someone who organizes that for you? Like
of course.
A philanthropy manager or something?
So his name's Darren, which also shout out to Darren. He's literally the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. This guy's a fucking lunatic. He won't let me pay him for working on the charity. He's like that in love with helping people. Yeah, and he puts in like 10 hours a day every day. He's a machine. You couldn't stop him if you wanted to. He loves helping people. But
that's so cool.
So he built it out. So I met him. I kind of stole him from a different nonprofit because I met him and I loved him. I was like, fuck yeah, there's not another person in the world I'd rather have run Peace Philanthropy. And so now, it's its own thing. We have people that work in the pantry, logistics people, and stuff like that.
Wow. And like, how does one procure 10,000 turkeys?
Well, that one, again, this is why the beauty of Beast Philanthropy, that was a sponsored video by Genio, which is a company that sells turkeys. And so we got them to give us 10,000 turkeys plus money to feed people for free and in exchange for shout out in the video.
Oh, that's amazing. That's brilliant.
Exactly.
And so you do all this, you have this food drive, and then, then people know, okay, that this is a regular thing.
Exactly.
And then it builds
The turkey thing isn't. That was a Thanksgiving special. But normally, yeah, exactly. And the more you do it, the more people come. And then we just guesstimate the numbers and average it out and usually bring a little extra just in case more people come this week than others. And he just does that routinely. And right now we're doing that for like 13 communities. And then we're going to build another food pantry and, scale that up and just keep scaling up. Also, I don't want to just do North Carolina. Our next food pantry is going to be in Atlanta and then hopefully get out of America and just keep scaling them up.
Wow. So you just keep everything you're doing, you just keep expanding and scaling up.
Exactly. Because I'm not trying to make money, so it's easy.
That's so unusual.
Well, also, that's a charity, so all the money goes back into it. Yeah, exactly.
But it's so unusual that someone is so selfless, and then that you have the vision to just, I'm not trying to make money, I'm just trying to grow the company.
Yeah. Well, in that particular one, I'd be fucked if I didn't have Darren. He's like, and just a lunatic. And he's literally one of the smartest people I've ever met. And the fact that he has such a philanthropic heart, like the dude could probably make like $5-10 million a year working in a normal business, but he dedicates his life to charity. I don't understand it, but I love him.
Well, obviously it means something to him. It's important.
Yeah.
And so this charity that you do with the food bank, like how many employees are involved in that?
He would know better because I'm not in the weeds because like this is where you have to think about strategically. The most optimal, in a perfect world, I could be on the front lines, going to the food drive, getting my food. But the most valuable use of my time is to make videos to generate revenue to buy food, right? So I'm more doing high level things like figuring out what's the next viral stunt for the charity, so we can do a brand deal and get a couple $100,000 in and stuff like that. I'm not really in the weeds of like how are we gonna do this food distribution tomorrow, or like this shipment's late, so blah blah this.
Right.
But probably somewhere around a dozen right now because we're only at one warehouse.
And you eventually plan on going worldwide?
Yeah, exactly. Just scaling it up and because like by watching those videos, you're essentially feeding people, literally, because all the revenue goes to it. So it's like, I think like we can get to the point, where we're supporting a dozen of these and just keep going bigger and bigger.
That's so cool. What other like?
I don't know. This is just this is what I do all day. So I just
come up with these ideas.
No, I didn't come up. It's just like, I mean, that's something I was passionate about. I'm passionate about YouTube, essentially. But like, that's like a parallel thing, right? Like, I've already put in the 100,000 hours and obsessed over YouTube. So it's like building a channel that like we leverage to grow our charity. Like, isn't as crazy because like I already know all this stuff. You know what I mean? Like how to go viral and that type of stuff.
That's so dope, dude. I just love the vision that you have for this. It's because it's so unusual for a young person to have such a clarity and focus.
Yeah, well, pull up Mr. Beast Gaming. I want to show you some of the other stuff too, because it's like the main channel isn't even all we do. We've managed to have one of the largest gaming channels on YouTube and one of the largest reaction channels on YouTube as well. So it's like I actually spend a fuckload of my time every week filming because we have 5 different channels. So this is our gaming channel. Just hit videos so you can see them. Like, these actually go really viral. And so we basically apply what we do in real life to gaming. Like, we invited, like, 1,000 v 1,000. We invited 1,000 players to fight against another 1,000 players, and the winner gets a bunch of money. Or whatever, right? And so these do really well. Actually, we recreated Squid Game in Minecraft as well. And so, you know, usually on Mondays I film for gaming. On Tuesdays I film for reacts. And then Ideal World, once we're uploading again, Wednesday through Fridays I film on the main channel. And then Saturdays when I do Beast Burger, Feastables, and like all my side businesses, I take calls. And then I try not to work on Sunday.
How much energy do you have to do this?
Not enough. I'm constantly like losing my mind. But it's all self-implied. And at any point I could like stop. So it's like no one's forcing me. But it's just like, I don't know. It's like, if I don't, I get depressed. It's like,
really?
Yeah. It's like, this is what I live for. I don't know how to put it in words.
Because of the fact that you've just generated such an immense audience, and it's just become.
Yeah. And so hit videos here. So this is our reaction channel, which also averages over 10 million views a video.
Wow. So this is all just, look at that.
Yep.
So this is all just you looking at stuff online.
Yeah, whatever we think is interesting. So like, you know, world's unluckiest people. The 8 minutes of us just reacted to people super unlucky, and stuff like that. And that's one of my best friends, Chris. It's actually, I don't know how, but it's really funny when you just put us in a room and just let us roast and react to things.
And do you do this one day a week?
Yes. And so actually this day is also the same day I filmed philanthropy, if we have a philanthropy video that week as well. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot, and there's no... also, well, the thing, too, is, like... So these channels, like this channel specifically, doesn't cost a lot of money to run. So this is, like, you know, mostly just pure profit, which is what I ran into is, like, my main channel, because I kept taking the videos bigger and bigger and bigger. There did get a point where they weren't really profitable. Like, I was losing money every video. So I started this other channel so they would make money, so I could lose money on my main channel, if that makes sense.
Really?
Yeah, so, like, the gaming channel, you know, like...
So the stuff like the Squid Games, it's so cost prohibitive. That's like,
yeah, well, that one, because it's getting so many views, might break even. But yeah, other videos like buying that private island and giving it away and terraforming it, like, yeah, fuck no. That was a big
you lose money on that.
Yeah, a lot of videos. Like, we did a video where we like sold houses for $1, right? And yeah, like in the thing, usually it's like I think things are going to cost less than they do, but like, yeah, it ended up costing over $1 million, and it probably only made like 600 grand. So like that was like a $400,000 L, and I take L's like that all the time. But that's why I have these other things to like, so I can afford to. So I don't really care if a main channel video makes money or not. It's just like, in general, it does everything at least semi supplement it, so I can, if that makes any sense.
It makes a lot of sense. So
yeah.
you kind of have a safety net of sort of almost like backup revenue.
Yeah,
make sure that everything
essentially,
is...
if I didn't have these, the main channel videos I just wouldn't have been able to keep making them bigger, and then I don't know, like I would just be sad because then they'd have to be lamer. Which is another reason why people don't do what I do, because like a lot of the videos just aren't profitable, like they don't make money.
Well, also, I just don't think people would be as obsessed as you are. Like you've got a very unique vision with this stuff. It's when I'm talking to you and I recognize the scale of it all. It's massive.
That's all I do. So.
I understand, but I mean, you must have some sort of a social life too, right?
Not really. I don't. That's the problem. But it's not a problem. I love it, and I wouldn't trade for anything.
Well, there's not a lot of human beings that ever get to a position like you're in. I mean, it's a very rare place.
Thank you. I mean, the question now is like, can we keep it going? Because like, so last year we were the highest earning YouTube channel in the world and the most subscribed to YouTube channel in the world, which is great. And it's like, fuck yeah. And then you realize, well, if we're going to do better this year, that's going to be pretty hard because we got beat #1. So just keep going, though. Keep grinding.
Well, it seems like you could do it. I mean, if anybody can do it, you could do it. Do you have, like, a grand vision? I sort of asked you this before, but, like, when you think of your future and you think, like, do you have an idea in your head of where you would like all this to go to? Because it seems like the world's your oyster. Like, you could kind of keep going and do whatever you want. Like, do you have a vision?
Yeah, I mean, I do in a way see it a little bit as like Elon's PayPal. Like, you know, maybe when I'm 30 and if I'm not doing YouTube anymore, I'd take the money and move on to the next business like Tesla, SpaceX, and stuff like that.